the last little pack down for set. Pretty much out of here. All of these desks are all clear now. Sad. What's up? I'm back again. I'm doing another sit down video because I haven't been filming that much because I've been super busy with game stuff and also just trying to recover after the 7 weeks of filming. This is just a little catch up because I wanted to go over everything that happened in the pack down stage of filming, the final little wrap of filming. Obviously I've already made this video. I've spoken about like my feelings during that period of time. If you haven't watched that, long story short is I feel a little bit weird, but I'm hopeful for the project to do well. That was an existential video, so if you were a bit confused by that, don't worry. I was having a bit of a moment. This is basically just a little review of everything that's been going on and talking about the pack down, talking about the process, and talking about basically what comes next, because there's quite a lot of work that goes into everything, and I will probably make something down the line about the actual process of how we made this project, but I want all the details and all of the facts for everything that we've done up until launch day, so then I've got a full story of like how we made the project. There's a train going past now, really loud. So basically, if you're not caught up, I spent about 7 weeks filming a video game, which doesn't sound like a real thing, but it definitely is a real thing. Essentially, what filming a video game means, rather than programming a video game, is the programming is all done. I don't have to worry about any of the programming stuff, and if I'm being honest, I'm probably too stupid to figure it out anyway. So I don't have to worry about that. That's all done. What we're doing is we're filming all of the content of the game, and this specific type of game is called an FMV, or full motion video game. Essentially, the too long didn't read is that when you're playing the game, you're interacting with the footage that I just spent 7 weeks filming. The theme of the game is party game. The name of the game, I'm allowed to say this, the name of the game is Fired by Friday. And the premise is that it is kind of like Among Us, where you have to catch out an imposter. Everyone else has to work together to try and figure out who that imposter is, and the imposter has to do everything within their power to blend in with the rest of the group. And it's set in a 1990s corporate office, and you're doing mandated VHS tape training. Except we're not allowed to call it VHS because apparently VHS is copywritten. So it is training tapes, essentially. That's what we've been filming. That's everything that we've been filming. Anyway, that's the rundown. That's what I'm in the middle of creating at the moment. That's the I'm going to catch you up sort of thing, so everyone's on the same page, everyone knows where we're at. And hopefully eventually I'll have a big long how we made this thing video come out, because I think that's an interesting topic. What I wanted to talk about was the pack down week, or the bump out, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't care, I'm calling it the pack down. So let's unpack that. Basically, we had a full week at the end of our lease to pack everything up, move it into boxes, and get it out of the space, and just hand the keys back to the owners, because we had a temporary lease on an actual office space, and that lease was only about 2 months. So we obviously had to give the keys back. We didn't have it permanently. Basically, while we were packing everything up, there was this weird feeling of like nostalgia. Even though it all just happened, it was this weird feeling of nostalgia. Even though it was a lot of work, there was something a little bit sad about handing over the keys, because we spent 7 weeks like doing all of this content there, and it was like we pushing my kid off to like go to their first day of preschool. Like, I'm not gonna see you for like 8 hours, 6 hours. How long does school go for? 6 hours? Like, you're taking your little kid and you push them into the schoolyard. You're like, fuck off, go to school, and then you don't see them for 6 hours, even though you've just spent 4 years with them non-stop, attached at the hip. It's a little bit like that. It was a little bit sad, but it's good because we've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so that's basically the first thing that has happened. The second thing that has happened is that we could finally get back to doing a little bit of video work. We are so behind on work in terms of video stuff because we filmed a charity event in the middle of filming the game because we hate ourselves and love work. And we told them preemptively, like, we can't get these deliverables back to you for like at least 3 or 4 weeks. And they were totally fine with it. And then we had to, as soon as we packed everything down and moved it off to our storage shed, just go straight into editing that. And that has just been like, oh my god, no, absolutely not. So that's the second thing that we had to do. And while we were doing that, we had Jake, who is our first AD and just general all-around runner on set. We had him back in the office doing all the really hard work for us, which we're so very grateful for. And basically we had him going through every single video clip we filmed over that 7-week period and making sure that every single good take was marked out in the spreadsheet. God bless his soul, he did all the work. So it makes our job a lot easier going into the editing and the conversion to VHS, and that was really successful. We went through everything. He was spending the whole time giggling away in the office, and yeah, that was the next thing that's been done. So that was very fun. Another little thing that came up during this little post-production period is a client of ours who we are still yet to work with, but the context here is that we donated video production services to a charity to auction off at their charity event, and then this client, who we are still yet to work with, bought or bid for that auction item and outbid everyone else. This was like 18 months ago, and we're still not working with them, but we've been trying to tee it up. We were supposed to be going to Sydney to film with one of the big major hotels for this client and doing a big marketing campaign. The hotel's backed out. We like to think that they looked at our portfolio and went, fuck no, absolutely not, we're not doing that. So they're trying to find another client to work with. And I don't know what they were suggesting when they said this, but I just need to put this out in the universe. The guy who we've been talking to, absolutely lovely, very stand-up person. Nothing wrong with our interactions thus far. He sent us an email and he was like, have you guys done any work in Malaysia? We have a very exciting client in Kuala Lumpur. And I had a heart attack because I was like, who's this client? And then I looked on their website, so found out who the client is, looked at where that specific client is, and the client is in the world's second tallest building. So that might be something that comes up as a job. If that just touch wood. If that becomes a thing, and I have to travel to Kuala Lumpur for video, no matter how well or poorly this video game goes, I think traveling to Kuala Lumpur to film in the second tallest building in the world can only be beaten by getting transported to Dubai and filming in the Burj Khalifa. That's ridiculous. In the meantime, they did come back to us and say we may have something lined up in the Gold Coast. So I might be going back up to the Gold Coast for work to do some video work, which will be exciting. It's not paid work because obviously it's our donated video package, but it will be good as a networking thing. It'll look really good for the portfolio. Might make a little bit of good content actually. So keep an eye out. Back to game production stuff. We have finally, after like a week of just chilling out, doing admin work and not thinking about the game whatsoever, we have finally started converting footage to VHS. We did a couple of little test edits because the way that we're formatting our post-production workflow is that we're making a video walkthrough of how the gameplay would look visually and how it would play. And then once we do that, we can throw the footage into the software, test it as the software, and if everything works nice and yummy and tasty and scrumptious, then we continue on with our conversions and hopefully have the game out in the next few months. A lot of work, but I have hopes. It's exciting. We weren't 100% sure if the conversion of the footage would work entirely, and we did run into a little snag with converting it straight from the computer to the VHS tape, which we solved by buying a bunch of CDs and a CD-ROM, and we've just been burning all of our footage onto the CDs so that we can record from the CD onto the VHS, and then to put the VHS tape into a separate VCR, and then record the footage from the VHS tape back onto the computer. And it's like this weird little circle of life of like taking 1080p footage, shoving it onto a CD in like 480p, and then shoving that 480p CD onto a VHS, and then taking that VHS, putting it in a separate thing back into a computer so it gets all scuffed. And I think we've got the workflow. I've done a little bit of audio work to try and get it to sound a little bit fuzzy and a little bit like tinny. It's not too much work. I will actually go through the workflow in a few months of how we've done everything, because I think it's really interesting. But essentially, I've just followed the tutorial that SkyCorp posted. I think I mentioned this a while ago. He talks about doing the audio in that tutorial, and fuck me, it works. It is so good. It actually works perfectly. I've tweaked a few of the things to work with my audio editing workflow, but it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. And the good thing is that when you put something onto a VHS and then record it off the VHS, for some reason, I don't know the reason why, and I'm gonna nerd out and look up the exact reasoning for this, but when you put things onto a VHS, it just adds this weird hum. I don't know whether it's like interference from the static on the actual tape when it's moving through the reader. I don't know what it is, but it sounds annoying in certain contexts, but fuck me, do we need it, because it makes it sound so authentic. So that's pretty much where we're at. We have started the conversion process. I really, really wish that I could share the footage, because there is some absolute heat in the footage. It's so funny. It is incredibly funny, especially with certain editing choices. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I'm really excited to see it come together, but I can't show it right now. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm like edging anyone that's like interested in this or has been following along with this, but I can't show it yet. It will have to be in maybe I might be able to show some stuff in a month. Maybe. We're hoping to get the trailer out by the end of May. Fingers crossed. Please don't hold me to that if we don't get it out. But anyway, that is basically my little life update. That's where we're at with production. I haven't really had any opportunity to bring the camera around with me and film stuff, but hey, we're here. It's been 2 weeks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you all really want to watch my content. But yeah, it's just been busy time, a lot of stuff happening, and not really much free time to be able to do anything. Edit. I've just barely been on my computer. I barely grabbed the camera, but we're back. We're here, and I'm giving you a little life update. So hopefully I'll have some more content coming out soon. Little updates throughout the post-production process, the development process, how we're actually getting this game out there, and hopefully in the next few months I will have some really exciting content about how we actually made everything in a lot more detail, rather than it just being little bits and pieces here and there. I want to do a big deep dive on how we put this game together, because even if it doesn't do well, I think it is just really interesting, and just something that I think the people would like to hear. So anyway, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching the video. Bethany, I think you just sent me a text message. No, you did not. Thank you for watching. I don't know whether I'm in focus at all, because I preset the focus. Anyway, love you long time. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. And keep an eye out for more content, because I have some exciting things coming up very soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Anyway, love you, bye.